The Celtics blew a historic lead to the Hawks, who are playing without Trae Young. Boston led by 30 points at one point, but Atlanta stormed back to win 120-118. Last night, the C's had a chance to get some revenge, but no dice. DeJounte Murray had 44 points on 44 shots, including all 11 of Atlanta's points in overtime to seal the win. Talk about dialed in. All right, Perk. Are back-to-back losses to the Hawks a cause for concern for Boston, a team that most of us have, in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Well, Molly, I appreciate the tee-up, but I want to hear what JWill has to say about this first.
Sure. You don't come to me first.
Sure. By the way, Perk, I was hearing a little bird or something in your house
where
earlier.
are you,
Like,
Perk?
I know you have dogs, but I don't know what's happening. I know you have people that take care of your lawn.
Good.
I don't know if you have people that take care of your pets, but do you have the windows open? Like, what's happening?
No, I'm saying, Molly, it's Good Friday. The birds are chirping outside. They may be singing to me.
Actually,
I don't know.
They should be chirping on Sunday, but I'll explain that later.
I'll kick it off. Perk, 44 points on 44 shots, even though he had 11 points in the fourth. Okay. But there is something here around human nature. And I get the way you play towards the end of the season. Maybe that can translate into the playoffs. But I feel as if I've seen almost the entire body of work to know what's on the line for the Boston Celtics. I also feel as if watching Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, look, I came out earlier and I was wrong at the beginning of the season because I thought there was more chemistry between Dame and Giannis, and that's still to be determined. But the proof is in the body of work with the chemistry and how Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have came together to lead this team. Now, we still need to see the proof is in the pudding in the playoffs. But there is a human nature that I understand that when you lock up the number one seed, there is a part of you, especially for the Celtics, that we will look at how they handled the playoffs and how they enter the playoffs more than anything else they've done throughout the regular season, right? Now, we can say, okay, from the beginning to end, they dominated the regular season. So I know we can get into the weeds on these nuances, but when you lock up the number one seed, it's human nature for this team to look ahead to what's about to come because they know that's go time. So as I hear you on DeJounte Murray dropping 44 on 44 points and hitting a game winner and them losing back-to-back to Atlanta, okay, to a degree, but let Atlanta get in that 8th spot. Let them get in that 8th spot. And then I want to see how all that interpretation is going to be handled when we get into playoff time and it's really time for the Celtics to strap up because I think we'll see a different Celtics team.
I knew it was going to come a time on this show that I was going to have to get my feet hot with you, and damn it is right now, okay? Listen, first of all, it's how this has happened over the last couple of games for the Boston Celtics. Being up 30 a couple of nights ago, okay, and then all of a sudden, without Trae Young, the Atlanta Hawks, they come back and beat you, okay? Then last night, Murray, I understand he took 44 shots. I get all that. But the shot he did take, he sent the Celtics home, okay? Now, we talk about going into the postseason. You do realize, Jay, and you know this, you never know who's watching. And why do I say that? Because you have NBA scouts in the stands. Why are those NBA scouts from other teams in the stands? Because all the NBA teams are gearing up for what? The postseason. And right now, the Celtics are showing that they're vulnerable. This is a team that is championship or bust. I don't believe there's no other team in the NBA that has more pressure than the Boston Celtics. I won't buy that. So when I think about what they have in play, they need to be playing their best basketball going into the postseason. I understand one loss, but you get another bite at the apple. You get an opportunity with all your guys available. Your starting five, who people has been saying the best starting five in basketball. You get a chance to go out there and showcase that, hey, I want to put doubt in anybody's mind, especially in the Eastern Conference, that if you come playing against us, we're going to stomp you out. You have no chance. And that's a huge deal going into the postseason is making sure that your opponents have doubt. Right now, I don't think it's anybody in the Eastern Conference that's fearing the Boston Celtics. I really don't. I really, really don't.
But I always laugh when somebody say, well, you know, here's this team. They're the number 1 seed. They lost one of the last 5 or 6 games. Looks like they're taking their eye off of it. Come on, man. Because the Celtics have lost back-to-back games to the Hawks with Drew Holiday and Derek White in their first game back. Now we're going to say there's questions to be concerned about the Celtics because they lost to a team by 1 point, even though they blew a lead, even though I just said it's human nature. Now we're going to make a case that we're worried about a team who's 55-16. Every team has warts, Big Perk. Every team has challenges.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot for Boston to get over the hump, but come on, man. That's what we're going to do now?
And you know what's been a major concern for the Boston Celtics? Their clutch time moments, especially Jason Tatum. Do you know this, Jay? Do you know players that actually qualify for clutch time shots, meaning go-ahead baskets or tying baskets? Jason Tatum ranks 25 he ranks 25th out of 25 players that qualify. So what it tells me is when it's down to the clutch, when it matters the most, I don't know if the Celtics could actually complete the mission and close out games. Now, when they have a big lead going into the fourth and they're dominating and they're at home especially, we know that they're going to handle business. But we also know that in the postseason, coaching matters. The game is going to slow down. And now all of a sudden, you got Joe Mazzulla, who I have respect for, that I feel like has done an excellent job good job since taking over, the role of the head coach, when Ime Udoka was left. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, think about the coaches that he has to go against in this Eastern Conference. Possibly a Doc Rivers. People can say what they want about Doc, but Doc has proven he's a hell of a coach, Hall of Fame coach. A Tom Thibodeau, a Eric Spoelstra, a Nick Nurse, a Quinn Snyder. You have some excellent coaches that are going to have their players prepared. I heard y'all talking earlier today with Coach Self, my guy, and Molly jumped in, bragging about her UConn Huskies, rightfully so. And we talked about Coach Hurley. I didn't heard his post-game interviews, and the big thing he always talk about, he showed major love to his assistant coaches, and he talk about their preparation. I believe that Coach Hurley one day will be a hell of an NBA coach if he decides to go that route. Preparation and that guy that's walking up and down that sideline, directing traffic, that matters.
So preparation has nothing to do with the team being 57-16? The best record in the NBA? I understand we're going to find warts. Hold on. Let me ask you another question, Big Perk, since you're so concerned about the Celtics. If Atlanta finds a way to get to the AC, you going to take Atlanta over the Celtics? Go ahead. I'll wait.
Jay, listen.
Can I say something real quick? Don't you feel like he's a little dialed in with the Boston Celtics?
I do. I also think that he's dialed in so much that he's going to find concern when actually he's too close to the chest.
But when he's speaking about this, I'm kind of reading between the lines that he might know a little more than us of things that need to happen with that team. Like, we know the talent's there, but maybe there's some things that you can control that they're missing. Well, am I right?
Of course, there's a lot to prove. They have to go prove it. But I'm not going to say that there's not things that have to be shown in the playoffs about Joe Mazzulla and some of the coaching techniques that he's had. I get all that. Those things have to be proven. I'm just not going to say that because of back-to-back losses to the Hawks when they have the number 1 seed locked up, I'm not going to draw a conclusion from that to say, well, now I'm overly concerned about the Celtics.
Jay, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And I'm talking about the clutch moments. And listen, this is not a sprint when it comes down to the Boston Celtics. This is a marathon. Again, remember, when we started this topic, I said it's championship or bust. So even if the Celtics get through the Eastern Conference, which they should, they still have to win the NBA championship. And Lord knows they don't want to face the Denver Nuggets. Because when we talk about clutch moments and we talk about having to be dialed in for 48 minutes, then it's really a level of concern for the Boston Celtics.
It's also about how they match up with the Joker, because that dude is different.
Yeah.
That dude is
nobody's matching up with him.
That's what I'm saying. That's yes.
Right.